Hello guys, my name is Fox and welcome to the first part of our tutorial series on Crusader Kings 2. So, in this first episode, I just want to talk about what this game is and what is it about. It's probably gonna be a brief overlook because there is so much stuff we need to talk about. But yeah, I'm gonna just try to have the general talk. So, first of all, in this game you play as a person, as a character, who have lands he rule over. And he have his own ambitions, he want to expand, and he have his life, he have his family. Yeah, that's the general overlook, but yeah, we're gonna jump in. First of all, this character lives in the medieval Europe. As you could see, there is starts and dates, but the timeline is really huge. You could start in the earliest starts and date is year 768, and the latest one is year 1337. So there is a lot of time and a lot of different events to play with, because in every in every time of or in every age there was a lot of different things happening in the world, so there's quite a few stuff to play with. We are just gonna start where? I think we're gonna start in the early Middle Ages, and I'm just gonna show you the interface, show you the characters and what this characters is about. So there is a couple of interesting characters. They actually existed in the past, and they have a little bit of a story behind them. So you could read it, you could play it, and if you know a lot of stuff about history, you could even try to cosplay it, because why not? So we are just gonna start as I don't know, King Carl Carling, and you could read the story if you want. So, but this is not what this video is about right now. We're just gonna try to show the basics. So yeah, there is also a little bit of a explanation. There is some explanation of the culture, government type, and religion, but I'm gonna explain it in the future videos by my own. I would try at least. On each individual theme, I would try to make a different video. So, there is our character, King Carl of West Francia. So, each character in this game have his own traits. They placed in this tab. Our character is a brilliant strategist, he is diligent and zealous. You could have, I think, up to 6 or 7 traits. They all appear during your lifetime due to some random events, or they could appear while you're being educated, because for every single child you need to get educator, and based on his own traits and his life experience and his decisions, the child gonna receive traits. Also, every single character have his own stats. There is diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, and learning. And every of the stats gonna affect some of the aspect of the game in a different ways. But about them, or a little bit deeply about them, we probably gonna talk later. Also, there are such aspects to the game as the religion and culture. Every single character have his own culture. This in particular have Frankish, and it is in Central Germanic group. Probably like in the real world, I think. And this character is a Catholic religion, and Catholic is a part of Christianity. And there is also a lot of map modes you could look at, but in particular for now we're gonna look at the culture map mode. So there's a lot of different cultures. You could see their spread on the map, and yeah, cultures affect your gameplay in a way, because not every culture has this like specific attributes to it, but some cultures have pretty interesting stuff behind them, I think. Like in particular Norse culture. Norse can raid overseas with ships, and rulers can raid infidel neighbors for loot, because Norse culture is basically Vikings, as they were in the Middle Ages. And as we all know, Vikings being a pretty damn harsh raiders. So, and yeah, for each individual culture there might be such attributes. Also, there is a religion map mode. As we know, in this year of age, or in this age, religion also been a pretty major part of everyday life of people. And like Pope was pretty powerful, and just bishops been also kind of powerful, and every single decision the person made, especially like the king of such high title as our, probably been doing from the or with the advice of the Pope, at least in the Catholicism. In Catholicism, why the heck this word is not coming out of my mouth? Catholicism. That's better. So yeah, but except Catholicism, of course, there is some other faiths, like Sunni in particular, like this Slavics, Romova and Sumenuska is a pagan cultures. They currently, I don't think, exist in the world, or maybe they exist, but being worshipped by like couple hundreds of people, if it still exists. But yeah, they are pagan cultures. Or religions, I'm sorry. There is a Tengri religion, Orthodox religion, all kinds of religion. And like with cultures, but a little bit more deeply, every single religion have its specific attributes to it. Like we could see in here. I've gone to the religion tab, but about the religion we're probably gonna talk deeply as well in different videos. But yeah, every single religion have its modifiers, and it also affects your gameplay quite a lot. Okay, next thing. Every single character, and we in particular, have his family, which we could see in here. Currently, we do not have a wife, but if we want, we could always have a marriage done. Because, yeah, as I already said, Crusader Kings 2 in particular probably differs from all the other strategy games, because it's heavily influenced by the focus on the person, on the personality and on the character, unlike just country itself. So there's a lot of stuff you could do with your character. There's a marriage in particular. Also, we have children. If you could see, we have a daughter and a son. What this black mark means in here, because you ask, how could you have children without wives? But we have children who are bastards. And bastards in the medieval world means that this is a children from not from my wife, not from my just not from my wife, from some lovers, which you could also have. Also, we could see in here our parents, our mother and our father, our grandparents and our siblings, like our brothers, sisters, and half sisters and half brothers. You could interact with all of them if you want so, and you're gonna have some just they're gonna influence the gameplay quite a lot, because they also have their traits, they have their ambitions. Yeah, talking about ambitions, every single character has ambitions. There's not too many of them, but they're quite interesting, like amass wealth. If you want to have a lot of money, you could choose this, get married, and all the others. Also, except ambitions, every single character have a focus. You could focus in particular on seduction. If your goal would be to seduce every single woman in the world, you could choose it. If you want to conquer the world, you could focus on the martial. If you want to be just a family person, you could focus on family, and yada yada yada. A lot of stuff. Next thing. We already talked about family, traits, culture, religions. Yeah, every single country need a council to be ruled, or you could rule it by your own, of course, because you're a king, but king need help. So I'm gonna go through these tabs relatively quickly. So we have a council, which consists of 5 people. They all have their own profession, and they help you with ruling the country. You could appoint them on different missions, and a different mission gonna do different stuff. Next thing, Laws. Every single country have its laws. Laws are relatively similar for each country, and mostly they focus on taxation and levies. So you could raise or lower the taxation level of every different type of your vassals or the people you rule over. Excuse me, and you also could change the amount of levies they're going to provide you with, the amount of armies you're going to be able to grab from them. And just in general, you could change your crown authority and investiture. But about these things we're probably going to talk later. And in here also there is a succession laws, because there's quite a few ways how your country or how your title could be inherited by your future children. And there is couple of types of succession, every single which need to be talked about probably like personally, so we're not gonna get too deep on that. Technology. Your country has a lot of technology like groups or type. No, actually no. There is 3 technology groups: military, economical, and culture. And all of them have different cultures like attached to them. So the higher level of the culture or the higher level of the technology, the higher or the more advantages you receive. That's a brief recall. Next thing, military tab. There is a recall of all the armies you could raise from your country to use in the war. Because what kind of strategy game without wars, right? Next thing is intrigue. That's one of the cool, or like probably one of the unique tabs, because this game is heavily focused on characters. What kind of characters in the kingdom, especially in the court, do not want to have some plots, like to kill your, to kill your wife, to kill some of your siblings, and receive their money or their trades, or just get them out of the way because they are doing something nasty. That's what you could do in the intrigue tab. There's a lot of stuff. We would need to go through it probably later, and there's also some decisions you could accept. There's also quite a few of them. Next thing is factions. So if your vassals or the people you rule over do not like you, or they do not like some decisions you made, or they do not like some laws you made, they might create factions and would try to enforce you to change stuff. Like if you were to raise their taxation a little bit too high, they're gonna get pissed about this, and they might start a faction and rebel against you. That's what this faction is about, and this tab is about. And the last is religion, as I already a little bit talked about this. Every single religion have special modifiers it could provide the worshippers with, and it also have moral authority. And moral authority just indicates like the general power of the religion, and based on its spread, based on the holy wars, on a lot of stuff. They need to be talked about in different video. And there we could see Pope, as I already thought. In this age, I'm pretty sure kings like been asking Pope if they need to go for a war, or Pope could denounce people or excommunicate, I think it's called. And that would make a lot of trouble for the kings if they were to excommunicated by the Pope, because Pope have a lot of power and Pope have a lot of influence. So religion is significant. Also, next thing, this is mostly just what I've been talking about is a court game, court and economical game, and just your country management game. But beyond that, there is also expansion, because this country management you need to do, or you need to do it always, but mostly in peace times. But peacetime is not staying for too long. There is wars. Wars is also like half of the game is wars. But before we're gonna talk about the wars, I haven't talked about just map in general, because as you could see, it's shattered in a lot of different provinces. If we were to get a little bit closer, you could see that there's different names for each province. So yeah, map consists of these little provinces. All of the little provinces combined into duchies, which consist of like 2 or more provinces, and every duchy combined into the kingdom. And we, as the king of West Francia, control West Francia. As you can see, it have blue color and our name on it, and by the borders you could see that that's what we control, like what appears to be today's Francia, but without this middle part. So yeah, about all of these counties, duchies and kingdoms we also probably need to have different video. But yeah, I've started to talk about expansion. So the second main focus of this game is expansion, of course. You, as a ruler, want to have more power and want to have more lands. So you could attack your neighbors. We, as a West Francia, have neighbor of Middle Francia, Saxony, these little guys, whose names is really hard to read because they're too small. But yeah, like Count of Domnonia, and Bavaria, and Bohemia, and Sorbia. So if we want to, we might attack them, but before attacking them, we would need to have a reason for that. And the reason's called claims in this game. But just in particular for Saxony, because they are a Germanic religion, and we are Catholic, we could just go and say that the God said us we need to kill you, and we could declare a holy war. And for each like country type, there's a lot of there's a lot of claims you could receive. There's a lot of different reasons you could find for the war. But yeah, this, as I already said, the second main focus of this game is expansion. You want to expand as much as you possibly can and paint the map in your color, because that looks cool and interesting. And yeah, that's basically the brief recall of what this game is about. Of course, it's not too deep. Of course, it's not too like I'm not been involving, or I'm not been trying to get deep into every single point in the game, but there is definitely a lot more I could talk about, and I would definitely talk about a lot more stuff. But I'm gonna try to make every different video for every single topic. So if this video was informatical enough for you, I think you should leave a like. And if it just was interesting in general. If you have some questions I haven't answered in this particular video, you should totally leave them in the comments. If it's a small question, I'm just gonna answer it in the comments right away. And if it's a huge enough question, I'm just gonna make a video about this. I already have a couple of topics in my head I want to talk about, like religion in particular, or all of this kingdom, duchy, and just government types. But yeah, if you have some topics I might make a video about, if they're huge enough, then leave them in the comments and I'm totally gonna do it. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to this channel and you want to see more tutorials about Crusader Kings 2 in particular, you should probably subscribe. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna see you in the next videos. Bye bye.